This is the Dreyer Drive podcast, a podcast all about siblings and the people, places, and pop culture that raised us. This is a podcast that's named after the street that me and my sister Jacqueline, along with our other siblings, grew up on. It is hosted by me and my sister Jacqueline, and it is only listened to by me and my sister Jacqueline. In today's episode, we spend a lot of time getting caught up on what's new and what's happening with our families. I make an embarrassing microphone discovery, and then we talk a little bit about the extra effort that we took when we were kids to stand out and be different from the crowd. And then we'll jump into today's main topic, which is all about the Papin sisters. It is one of two spooky episodes we're going to do this year on the Dreyer Drive podcast. And that's all I'm going to tell you before we dive in. Oh, and then of course we're going to wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every single episode on the Dreyer Drive podcast with an unhinged text message from a family member. And this week is all about supporting our siblings. Let's do this. So,
okay.
You are both high and close.
Well, I have to be close to the microphone.
Which, if there was ever like a real slogan for Ajax in general,
I'm
you are both high and close. I'm sure we'll get into the hi, hello, how you been doing part, but I did just want to get the story out as it just reminded me of, I was like, high and close should be Ajax's slogan or whatever. I remember this one, the most random. Do you remember mom and dad? So we've talked about this before. Dad was definitely DIY heavy, and I swear this is not pre-planned. Dad is definitely like DIY. Like, you need a deck, he's doing it. Sponge paint your kitchen.
I don't remember ever having like anything done in the house that wasn't done by us.
Oh, well, that's going to be a little bit of a surprise for you to share with you the story that I have about our kitchen French
the guy
doors.
who did the tiles and the tile in the French door. That was all. Okay, I remember now. You know what? Gotta say a couple things before you say that. Did not like the work he did. And if it was in my house, I would have him tear it out.
Yeah, so he did the tile over the existing tile. It raised the floor an inch maybe, which is just like inconvenient.
Also, the tiles were like glass. Like it wasn't, they were the slipperiest floor tiles on the planet. I broke my wrist slippering. I broke my
slippering away.
Slippers. I was pretending to be a dinosaur, as one does. In my socks, I ran across the kitchen and I lost my footing, slid directly into the the counter, and that's how I broke my wrist. And I've had a bad wrist ever since. And that's that man's fault, is what I'm saying.
Yes, you slipped. You slipped on this slippery glass, and we're not talking about the slippery, freshly pledged hardwood floors, which we would do as a gag.
No,
a good old
different.
26 Dreyer Drive, just for laugh gags. Let's spray some wood polish on the floor, and people are slipping for weeks. This is not that. This is the glass tile in the kitchen that was installed by a professional, and Jacqueline slipped and broke her wrist. And so what he did, he installed the tile, and then in the like load-bearing wall of the kitchen installed two French doors so that we could see through to the living room and the dining room from the kitchen, open the space up. That really was like night and day. Big renovation in 26 Dreyer Drive history. First time we brought in an outside source that wasn't one of our friends who was volunteering, getting paid in pizza slices to come in and do that. And so remember, the whole point of the story is I'm about to tell you why Ajax's slogan should be high and close. So, do you remember anything about that guy that might stand out as something that when you meet him, like, okay, it's fine, no problem, but something that would stand out?
Probably not, because I just remembered that he existed like this moment, and I can't think of anything about him, period.
Well, he was missing an arm. Which is something. Why are you laughing at that? Oh my gosh!
Okay, guys,
Jacqueline,
everybody listening.
Jacqueline.
Crispies. I need you to know I'm not laughing at the fact that he doesn't have an arm. I'm laughing at the fact that there was something so obvious that I should have remembered that I didn't. But before you go on with your story, I do have what I would term facial blindness. I think everybody looks the same. And you know what? Sometimes I don't see people with one arm does any differently than people with two arms. So what I'm saying is, it's funny that I would not clock that. It is not funny that he only had one arm, unless he said it was funny. And then we can all laugh.
Are you one of those people like, I don't even see color. I don't even see color. That is the
color.
problem. That's the problem.
No. I don't see arms.
Okay.
I don't see eyes. I don't see legs.
So in your defense, I actually believe that I don't remember if it was before or after him working on the house, to be 100% honest. Like I actually don't remember, but I remember he was, in the last time I saw him, missing an arm. The reason that's important is because there was an evening where I was going to like Video 99 or something, and it was probably right at the end of like Video 99 days, right before it became like coffee time, and they did the renovation on that plaza, and there was a drinking establishment there. I believe at the time was it the Carry Inn at that time?
It was the Carry Inn. Yes,
and so I go down, I'm in Video 99 or whatever. I come out and there's a guy who lived on Deacon Lane, and he had taken some acid, and he saw me, and out of the corner of his eye. And the reason he saw me out of the corner of his eye was because his head and his brain was stuck to the brick wall of the like dentist office or whatever was there on the corner. And so he's like, Porter, you got to come and help me, Porter. My head is stuck to the wall. And I'm like, but it's not. There's no way that it could be. He's like, I need help. Please come over and help me. My head is stuck here. I'm like, all right, well, this is kind of fun for a Friday night. Not on my list of things I wanted to get done, but I will help this guy remove his head from the brick wall.
His head that is not really attached to the brick wall. He just thinks it is. Okay.
Yes. So I go over. I'm like, bro, are you okay? He's like, I don't know what happened. I was walking by and it's like a magnet. My head is now stuck to the wall. But every now and then that he's talking, he's like removing his head from the wall to tell me. And I'm like, but look, it's not attached right now. You can do this, bro. Like, you can totally trust me. You are not stuck to this wall. And then he told me that he'd taken some acid and he's not liking any second of this. And I'm like, all right, man, it's fine. There is nothing that you need to worry about. You're fine. You're going to remove your head from the wall, and this night will continue. You're going to go home and the night will be fine. And so we work on getting his head removed. And as we got not from his body, from the wall. So we got his head removed from the wall. And as we did, our home renovator, the professional that I mentioned earlier, he came like stumbling out of the bar, and remember, he's missing an arm. And to this guy who I've just helped take his head off the wall, who's really deep, neck deep in an acid trip, turns and sees a guy walking towards him who doesn't have one of his arms. This set him on a whole other like adventure of his trip. He's like, Porter, you got to look at this guy. He is missing an arm. I'm like, no. This is not part of it. This is real. I can't remember the guy's name, but I pointed at him. I'm like, all right, you guys have a good night. I left, and the guy was drunk, and he's like, what are you saying, mate? What are you saying? And I'm like, I am going to leave you two to enjoy this journey.
Saying, I don't know either of these men is what I'm saying.
No. So high and close is really what I'm trying to get at here.
As long as we're talking about people missing appendages. So one of my very best friends here in Utah, a few years back, she was using a snowblower, and the snowblower got bound up, and she reached down to brush off the blades of the snowblower, and it caught, and it actually took off two of her fingers, right? Not funny. Don't laugh. So two of her fingers, it was just like super traumatic
Just notice
event.
the stark difference between these siblings. One person laughs at that information. One person is dead quiet and respectful when they are delivered that type of information.
Okay, so she loses two fingers. Someone was really smart, grabbed him, stuck him in the snow to keep him cold, and like got her down to the hospital, all this stuff. Then the rest of our friends were, pretty much babysitting her when she got home because she was on very heavy drugs while she was going through this process. Anyway, she starts to get better. They realize that they really can't reattach the fingers. They don't go on. They don't go on like how she expected them to. So one finger they were able to attach, but she still is missing her ring finger. And soon after that, a big group of friends met together to play bunco. And if you don't know what bunco is, it's what sad housewives play. It's a little dice game that we do when we all have kids at home and we need to get out of the house for like 3 hours once a month. And you play games, and there's always a prize at the end. Whoever wins the prize, and it's like whoever gets the highest score or whatever.
And the game is called bunco. This is me
Bunko.
telling you I have no idea what you're talking about.
Bunko, I didn't feel like you would because, as aforementioned, you are not a
bored
sad
Utah
housewife. So, and sometimes there'd be prizes for like worst score, whatever. But this one was like peak score night. Whoever got the highest score would win. And the host is the person who's responsible for buying the prizes, and each person takes a turn being the host. And the person who was hosting wasn't really like aware of what had happened with the finger. Like, it wasn't like we shared it in a group chat, like, hey, heads up, we have a friend missing a finger. So she only found out about it when she arrived to play Bunko. And like, then we had to explain, like, oh, it was a snowballing accident, whatever. And I could see the host kind of get kind of uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, I know it can be uncomfortable when a friend loses a finger. I get it. I've been there. But at the end of the night, the girl who had lost her finger was the person who won Bunko that night. And the host went to go get the prize, and she was like, I am so sorry. And she hands over the prize, and it was a manicure set.
Well.
And it was one of those things that we were like, oh no. But then it got really funny. So it went from oh no to everybody laughing so hard that this poor girl, we're like, let's just reiterate, you are missing a finger, but here's like, it's a half price manicure set. So from that moment on, she got really creative about telling people how she lost the finger, because we'd be out to like lunch and people would be like, whoa, what happened there? And so I got
really sensitive. You're telling me you hang out with really sensitive people. Ooh, what is that?
And she was so funny because everywhere we went, she'd make up a different story about how she lost her finger. And and eventually her doctor did say, like, I think we can get a prosthetic fitted for her. And she was offended. She was like, I love my little nub. Why would you say that about my beautiful nubby finger? And so to this day, she refused the prosthetic, and we just love her for her little nub that was taken by a bear, is what we heard last.
Oh, got it. Yeah. I got it. That's one of her stories. Cool.
See, it's a good story.
Really great. High and close. I imagine that she like sometimes just outfits it with one of those like magic trick thumbs. You know, the ones you like stick the handkerchief in. You're like, oh, it's gone. I'm like, is that?
To kids crying, Mom, no, stop.
She takes it off and oh my gosh, I took it right off. I would have so much. I would have so much fun with it. But anyway,
no, after the fact. At first, it's pretty horrifying.
Sure, yeah. When it's during the traumatizing few minutes and the weeks that follow, I'm sure I wouldn't be having any fun. But
yeah, as someone who sustained a traumatic injury while she was pretending to be a dinosaur and fell across the kitchen,
established.
Like, we don't like to joke about those things. You know what I mean? Like we don't joke about it. It was traumatic.
Yeah, we don't joke about trauma ever. There's a common theme.
In our family, never.
On this podcast is we do not joke about trauma.
That's actually what we were going to call this podcast before Dreyer Drive. It was just going to be called "We Do Not Joke About Trauma."
It's right there on our family coat of arms in Latin.
Put it on my headstone. That I always tell my kids I want that, and are you wearing deodorant on my headstone? Because I don't want them to forget that every day that was the first thing I said to them as I got up every morning. Like, are you wearing deodorant?
It's the same thing that my family says to me. So mine's actually my headstone's actually, yes, I put it on. It's hot here.
What I'm hearing is I might need to be buried in Okinawa so that you'll always remember to put on deodorant.
No, it's one of those jokes that you really have to like. It's also the theme of our podcast. So few people will get it, but there will be that one person who walks past a graveyard in Utah and then takes a family trip to Okinawa, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I get it. He is wearing deodorant."
And they're like, and guess what? They committed to that bit all the way to the end. They committed to the bit.
Past the end. For time and all eternity.
Past the end.
So I want to apologize.
So what's new?
Well, just before, I want to apologize to anybody listening to this episode. Jacqueline and I have not talked to each other for about a month. So this is more for us.
So this might be unhinged.
Yeah, this is mostly for us. And this might be one that you have to listen to over the course of a week, because I'm assuming it will be 4 hours long.
Yeah, apologies.
What's new? lots. I don't even know where to start. Like, it's not like
I
there's.
don't know.
Well,
Like last I heard, what's new is that you have a squeaky clean colon.
yeah, cleanest he's ever seen. Cleanest he's ever seen. So yeah, we had to cancel one of our episodes because I was going in for my colonoscopy, which was fun. So just making sure there's no alarming, nothing triggered it. It was just like, you know what? It's time. We've had issues in our family tree with colon cancer.
Really lucky that way.
Delightful diseases like that. And so I wanted to go in and just make sure everything's good. I think everything's good. I go in next week for the results of the.
Oh boy, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it because the results are really bad.
Imagine, we should do our first live episode ever. Will be from me sitting in the doctor's office, translating, interpreting whatever he said through the tears,
and the results are not good.
he said, look, everything looks clean. There was 3 polyps that they had to take, so they took 3, and they're going to run whatever analysis. I'm sure.
Gotta say, don't love that word. It's up there with moist.
It's up there with moist and blouse.
Blouse. Squirt.
But so here, perfect time to talk about my colonoscopy. No, the preparation was no. So they don't put you under. I don't know if they put you under like anywhere. I'm sure they do. I think in the US and Canada, I'm assuming they would. Mm-hmm. But like I went in on a Friday and I was like, hey doc, like I'm thinking about. He's like, cool. You want to come in on Monday? I'm like, do you mean in 3 days? He's like, yeah, here. Like when you leave, I'll get you the prep stuff and you're good. I'm like,
that would make me say no. I don't want that.
If it wasn't like that, I don't think I would have. I would have been like, can we talk about this in like 4 months time? And I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. And so the prep, I'm not going to go through. It was horrible. Like I'm sure there are worse things in life. We've already talked about some things in this episode, but it's like for not the ideal way to spend a weekend. And then he said like, look, we don't put you under, but I'll get you like the twilight stuff so that you're like, you'll probably sleep. He's like, but just to let you know, some people wake up during the procedure. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, we'll give you like as much as we can give you here. But he's like, just to let you know, like, don't be alarmed if you wake up during it. And I woke up like I woke up and it was just, I can, obviously I'm on whatever. And so it's not like these crystal clear like memories that are etched in there forever. But I did wake up and I remember being just so confused as to like I remember like looking over at the nurse and being like, what are you doing? And then like looking at the doctor and being like, and what are you doing? And then looking at the screen and being like, oh yeah, I'm getting a colonoscopy. And like, I actually watched on the screen while they like,
no, thank you.
Did a little tour and, anyways.
What is happening in my body is none of my business. And I would like to keep that separate.
Before I had kids, like I would listen to people complain about summer holidays. I'm like, why would you complain about having your kids around all day?
You get to have so much fun times with your kids.
It's so awesome. Until this was our first real summer holidays because Noah's now in grade 1. And so from 8:30 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. it's literally just daddy play with me, daddy play a game, daddy play this, let's go outside, daddy let's go for a walk, daddy let's go to the park, daddy let's play with me. I'd like, all right guys, I gotta go and work for a little bit. I'd like just settle in, like open up my documents, start typing, and Noah'd be like, daddy, can you play with me? I'm like, and like I really want to, but I can't. And
that's the thing about you though, is I don't want to. You want to play with your kids. Well, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
It reminded me of something like, I remember when we were kids, our parents were friends with these other parents who were like, we never say no to our children. Like we find, we acknowledge them and we find ways to like educate them but we don't say no. I am saying no literally 625 times a day. I'm like, no. Even when I say yes, I'm saying no first and then like finding a way to squeak in yes. I'm like, no, actually, yes. I lead with the no. I always lead with the no. And then so I remember this one time, mom had gotten into like some type of debate with this other family about the family that doesn't say no to their children. And it was during summer holidays where I think mom had like a fundamental like difference in the way that she was raising her kids versus these other, and they had 2 girls as the oldest and mom had 2 boys. And so that led to the debate of which is harder to raise, boys or girls? And they decided the way to settle the debate would be to trade children for a weekend and see, like, let's just give it a test run and see. All right, you got 3 days. Go. Like, just exchange children for the weekend. And so they did.
The 90s were a different time, guys. I'm so sorry. The 90s were a different time.
I will never let, like, Noah's not going to have a sleepover. Like, to think about trading children is like,
kids?
What? So they decide to trade children for the weekend. And Dan and I hear that, like, the whole reason for this trade is because mom is trying to establish that boys are harder to raise. Like, say less. We are going to go and be the worst kids, right? And so
you're like, got it. Directive?
We got this. Yeah. Like, so, yeah, we hear you. Like, Roger that. We've got this. So we show up, and first thing is like, all right, well, like, get your room set up and then come down for dinner. And so we come down for dinner, and they've got tomatoes, like just cherry tomatoes in like a bowl on the table, and we start eating, and they're like, all right, grab some tomatoes, and we're like, yeah, we don't do that. Like, I don't know if my mom told you, not a lot of dietary restrictions, but tomatoes are on the list. We're not touching them.
Are literally the only one.
They're like, in our house, you eat what we put on the table. I'm like, cool, we're not your kids, so we're not doing that. And then like the dad like looked at the mom and nodded, and she was like, got it. And they like literally grabbed us by our faces, like pried our mouths open and stuffed cherry tomatoes into our mouths. Remember, this is on a kid trade weekend. So like both parents, like
you
both
think they'd be on their best behavior.
Well, now also both sets of parents are on the hook, in my opinion. Like, you traded us and you are now force feeding us tomatoes. Like, what? And so remember, this is supposed to be for the entire weekend. And Dan decides that this is clear grounds, like your teacher being 15 minutes late, you're able to leave the classroom when you're in school. That rule that is nowhere but is everywhere. We get up to like our bedroom, our guest bedroom, wherever we're staying. And Dan's like, we need to escape. We need to find a way to escape. Let's open up the window, let's climb out, and let's escape here. And I'm fairly certain that's what we did, because I remember being returned home to mom and dad that night. They tapped out. They couldn't even last one night.
Return to sender.
Yes. So we helped mom prove the fact that boys are indeed harder to raise. And it was a summer holiday. It was like that summer vacation time with a family that doesn't say no to their kids. I think after that day, I think they started saying no to their kids. And
the no was, can we play with the Porter kids?
No. Can we go hang out at Dreyer Drive? No, absolutely not.
No. Those feral animals that live there? No.
So all of that to be said, the last update I have is we survived our first true summer holiday over here.
Congratulations. And I hope you understand now the relief that I feel when my kids go back to school, not necessarily because I'm like, okay, you're someone else's problem now, but I love my routine. And that first day back when everybody leaves and I get to go back to like my life of solitude and my routine, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, mine was like, finally, I have a chance to go for my colonoscopy. And then I did that. And then it's like actual 2 weeks, like not full on recovery, but like for 2 weeks, you really can't like do your workout. And I'm like, nice, I'm ready. Oh, I'm sick now. I'm sick from the kids. This is fantastic. So I've been like 3 weeks just waiting for my post-summer holiday time to start up again. And that's today. So today is my summer holiday. You know what? I'm marking today as the beginning of my summer holiday.
And look where you are now, doing a podcast
for
3 people.
Doing things that I love. Anyway.
Okay. Well, now's about the time that we should
start the podcast.
Start a podcast. And we usually start it with a question about our childhood. Sometimes it's just me. I genuinely just want to know. But I do have a family childhood related question. Chewing ice into a podcast is a choice, Ryan.
Could you hear that?
Yes, I could hear that.
You did not hear that. Hold on.
Were you chewing ice? Ice? Yep.
You can hear me talking.
You did not. Ryan, you did not mute yourself. I heard you chewing ice. But honestly, leave this all in the podcast because I want people to know that you chewed ice.
I have a microphone that has a physical button to like mute it. And hold on, I want to just do one because I'll tell you the implication of this in just a second.
Yes.
No.
What have you done?
The amount of times I have used that physical button in a meeting to fart. In a meeting, I'm like, let me just mute myself and rip this. Are you kidding me?
You have been farting through every meeting.
I cannot. Why is there a physical button then? It turns red even. Like when I hit it, there's a light inside the microphone that turns red as if to tell me, fart away, young child, fart away.
Well, I think you should be turning red because you've been farting through all of your meetings. Leave this in.
I cannot believe this. I am so... I do this to sneeze, to cough, to burp, to fart, to yell at children.
Oh boy. Well, sounds like you have some apologies to make.
No, I'm not even. There's no way I'm opening and being like, guys, remember on...
Like, so remember all those times I farted on camera? I did think I was, just so you know, I thought I was muted. I wasn't farting on purpose in your ears.
The best part is I stare at myself being like, if you were watching me right now, I'm on mute. If you're watching me right now, would you know that I'm farting right now? Would you know? And I stare at myself in the eyes being like, is there any tell here?
Okay. Also creepy that you're just like making deep and meaningful eye contact with yourself while
well, they don't know. It looks like I'm looking at them. They're like, Ryan is really concentrating on us and he's farting. What? Are we not going to acknowledge this? Is anyone going to call him out on this? There's probably been meetings about me where they're like, yo, is anyone going to tell?
HR is like, we need to talk to Ryan. It is really inappropriate that he keeps farting into the mic.
I cannot believe this. Sorry.
This is the best thing that's ever happened to me personally.
Oh, man. I cannot. Anyway, let's move on to the question because I'm sweating double now thinking of all. Anyways, let's move on.
Speaking of sweating, I can't even move on to the question. So I was this past weekend, I went to Disneyland with my two best friends. And one of the things that's at Disneyland, if you're familiar, is they have photographers all over the place. And it like, they just take the pictures and they download them onto your phone. So you always have like professional pictures. And I don't often do them with my family because we're like trying to get around places. But I was like, oh, there's just two adults with me. Like, I was like, every time we see one of these photographers, we're stopping, we're doing a little photo shoot. And these photographers get really creative with the posing. They're like, and now point in the air and I'm going to Photoshop something into it later. And now one of them was, one of my friends is very small and blonde. They're like, now the little blonde one, you pretend you're driving and the other two are scared. I'm like, so in this scenario, she's a bad driver? Like, what is happening? And the last photo shoot of the night, we're in front of the iconic castle. And the photographer wanted us to do a pose, almost like a prom pose, where your backs are to each other's fronts. And normally in a prom pose, there's only two. There's three of us. And I was in the front. And I thought it would be really funny because I'd been eating tons of food all day. I thought, it's going to be funny if I push my belly out and I cradle my belly like I'm pregnant. this is gonna slay. And so the photographer's like, okay, do your pose. And we're all cradling each other and I'm cradling on my bump. And right before he takes the picture, I go, I'm pregnant. And then I realized he might say congratulations. And I said, but not really. And then he took the picture right as the moment as I made the face, like how, like I was really embarrassed when I said it. Because hearing, I'm pregnant, but not really. And I made like an uncomfortable face. So the professional photo from that time is me looking extremely uncomfortable. And I'm going to put it in the show notes because when we got it back, I could not stop laughing because if this is not like just a photographic evidence of what an awkward human I am in real life, I want this blown up. This is what I want at my funeral. Just this picture of me being like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that.
And she wasn't even pregnant.
And that's the thing. That's why it was funny. See, it's funny because it's funny to pretend you're not. It's funny to pretend you're pregnant when you're not pregnant.
At Disneyland,
everybody laughs at
where
that.
People go to take their minds off really sad things. And...
Anyway, okay, question of the week. Okay, so this question, this was one of those questions that I was like, ooh, I should ask the other siblings. But I realized only one other of our siblings would have an answer to this question because two of them would not have any clue about this question.
Oh, okay.
The question that I was asking was, what was the weirdest thing that you did to appear different and interesting to other people as a child? Now, when I say I could only ask one other sibling, it's because Daniel and Jonathan did not want to be cool and interesting as children. They wanted to be normal as possible. But there are three of us that were real jazz hands about the way we were brought up and wanted all the attention. And I want you to think about what was the weirdest thing that you were like, this is my thing. This is my thing, and I'm doing it because I'm interesting and quirky.
The list is too long.
Oh, no, I know. I had to really work on this list.
But one I can just pull off the top is, I think like once it hit November, I thought that I would wear actual Christmas stockings as socks.
Weren't you Santa Claus for Halloween
multiple times. But we used to have those stockings that were like really stretchy, and there was one Christmas stockings.
And I need people to understand they're not like, we're not just calling like stockings. Like it was like actual Christmas stocking that you would put presents
could
into.
not like misinterpret these as anything but Christmas stockings. And so like, not only did I wear them, I wore them nonstop and without washing them, because I remember how bad they smelled by the end of it. And I'm pretty sure Mom was like, Ryan, have you not washed these? Like, Christmas Eve. She's like, Ryan, have you not been washing these? Like, how is Santa supposed to put stuff in this if Santa can't even pick them up? And
yet I was called Krusty the Snowman. Explain to me how that is fair when you were
Mine
the
was
true
intentional.
Krusty the
Mine was
Snowman.
all in the spirit of Christmas. But like, yeah, like just like being like, I'm so into Christmas. I'm wearing Christmas stockings as my socks, people.
They're embroidered with other people's names on them.
So that definitely sticks out. I don't know if I've told this story. I know I told this story to Seiko like semi recently, and you need to tell me. I will take this out if I've told this before. But okay. there was 1 year where like in just going into the Christmas holiday break, there was a guy in French immersion who decided to start the rumor in elementary school. I must have been like grade 8 maybe, that I who wore the same pair of socks for months, Christmas stockings, when I was younger, was accused of wearing the same pair of jeans 2 days in a row. And if you know anything about elementary school, or I guess this would be middle school if it's in the United States or here in Japan, like that's the cardinal sin. You cannot be seen wearing the same pair of jeans 2 days in a row. And so I remember like just like the day before Christmas holidays, one of the French immersion girls came up to me and was like, hey, so-and-so said that you were wearing the same pair of jeans 2 days in a row. I'm like, no, how could he say I have so many jeans. Like, why would he say that? I have so many jeans. I can't believe he would say that. They just look the same because I have so many. And like, I
must stop you to let you know that we actually in the Porter family probably only had 2 pairs of jeans.
Max 1.5, because the half pair was shared between 3 people. And so that was like the day before Christmas holidays. We go on Christmas holidays, and for one of my presents for Christmas holidays, I got a Nike tracksuit. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted a Nike tracksuit, right? So I got the Nike tracksuit. And then have I told this story?
No, you told a story about shoes, but not the tracksuit.
So Boxing Day, so school hasn't started yet, but I now am in possession of a brand new tracksuit. Boxing Day, we go to National Sports to do some Boxing Day shopping. We lined up outside, and inside National Sports, I found another tracksuit on the discount rack that was so cheap. It was like $25 for the jacket and matching pants, because that was like really big again now, by the way, but really big, like late 90s. That was like, you've got it. You are in a rap video. And so I buy this tracksuit, and I'm like, now I've got 2 tracksuits. And so first day back to school, I go in the morning wearing the Nike tracksuit. And then at lunchtime, I changed into the Reebok tracksuit, which is the one I bought from National Sports. And I go to school and everyone's like, Ryan, did you change? I'm like, bro, I've got so many tracksuits. I wear different tracksuits on the same day. Let it be known. Let it be noted on the record.
I have so many tracksuits that if I don't wear 2 per day, you'll never see them. You'll never see all of them.
My life was like a skit from I Think You Should Leave Now. Like, it's like, these are skits where it's like, bro, I've got so many tracksuits. I'm changing at lunch over here. So like, there are 2 things. 2 things I did. One, showing everybody how festive I am when I was in my early elementary school days, wearing actual Christmas stockings as real socks for months without washing them, and then being accused of wearing something without washing it. I went the next day back to school, changing my entire outfit at lunch to show people just how much clothes I was actually in the possession of.
You're
Your
really
turn.
going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to tell you Dallin's, because I texted Dallin because I was like, Dallin definitely has one of these because he has the same brain chip as we do, that we want to be special all the time. And he said his was intentionally, Dallin wore pants called Modrobes, which I think we probably mentioned before.
We talked about
They're like
multiple times.
Modrobes were like a cargo pant, like a wide leg pant that were very colorful. They were made out of like the same material that the scrubs were made out of, like a very thin material. And for like a year, Dallin was in possession of a pair of orange Modrobes that were his entire personality. But he couldn't wear his orange Modrobes every day, not only because of aforementioned reasons, but also because mom wouldn't let him wear them every day. So what he did is he purposely cut the knees out of all of his other pants. And then he would wear his orange Modrobes underneath all of his other pants so that people knew he still had his orange Modrobes on, because the orange Modrobes were his whole personality for a full year. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty freaking weird, Dallin. Like, what the heck is wrong with our family?
This is a skit. This is a skit from I Think You Should. Imagine being there like, hey, bro, where's your Modrobes today? He's wearing tearaways. He rips them off. He's still got them on. He's at a funeral.
He has tearaways on, but he still's cut the knees out for some reason. It's like, you could have just torn those off.
Oh, yes. The things we do.
So I had a lot. We know that I went through the yellow bucket hat years, the yellow vinyl flare years. But I think the weirdest one that just because it makes no sense to me now, like, why did I make that my thing? I got really into like weird advertisements from like the 50s and 60s. And I would find them on the computer. I would print them out, and then I would laminate them to turn them into things like keychains, or put them on my binders. And the ones that I made into keychains were literally like the size of they'd be the size of my hand. They'd be humongous keychains.
Those are not keychains.
And I tie them onto my basket. And my number one favorite
Sorry, you tie them onto your which basket? Sorry, you tied them onto your
said backpack.
Oh, backpack.
So I tied them on my backpack because then and then everybody could see that I had this very interesting hobby, which was like, and then people would be like, what's up with that? I'm like, oh, I'm just really into like 50s marketing. And so my favorite one was, it was like a family, like a cute family, and they were like on the beach dancing. And the ad said they're happy because they eat lard. And so that was my number one. But the worst one that I had, which I now realize I was led to believe through my own research skills on whatever AOL
from a single search of Lycos.
From a single search, when I'm like, what are some weird advertisements from the 50s and 60s? I found one, cut it out, laminate it, put it on my backpack, and for the next day at school, walked around with an ad that said, eat a beaver, save a tree.
No!
Ryan, I got made fun of so bad. I was in 10th grade.
No. Hold on. I thought you were talking about like grade 6. You were in high school?
I was in high school, and as soon as I walked in, everybody made fun of me.
Did they think you were coming out? They were like, is this you trying to tell us that?
The best part is, like,
They're like, it all makes sense. They're like, it all makes sense. The yellow vinyl.
Got it. Again, we were raised extremely religiously. I was very naive. So when they were like, really? When people were like, that's super funny, I'd be like, yeah, because it's funny because, like, if you eat the beaver, you can save a tree. And I'm a nothing, but if not an environmentalist at heart. And by the end of the day, someone explained to me that it was actually not a vintage advertisement. It just looked like one.
It was a new poster on sale at Spencer's.
And B, you need to take that off your back
immediately.
What the heck is that?
Unless, no, I'm not gonna.
But guess what? I felt really special that day.
I was really different. That day I was different.
Okay, this really is like, I really need people to start giving us their answers to these questions.
Please.
This is one that I legitimately would love to know what weird thing you were like, this is my thing. I'm committing my whole life to this.
I'm going to be known for this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, now that I need to change my shirt for the amount of...
Got real uncomfy. And guess what? Our topic's going to just make it a little more uncomfy.
That's what I think everybody's here for.
So what's the day? So because we're going into spooky season, I want to do 2 spooky episodes.
Oh,
first is just going to be the first one. So hopefully you can pipe in some like...
Well, I will not do that. The amount of extra effort it would require to know.
Okay, so I'll just do it. I'm calling this Dreyer Drive After Dark. And it's always after dark for me. Actually, I record this at like 10:30 at night. But we're going to have 2 spooky season episodes. This one is just about a random spooky topic. Next one is going to be about Porter family spooky secrets.
Oh.
Spooky. I don't know why I called spooky secrets.
That's me legitimately scared. Like, wait, do I actually have to share my secrets?
Okay, let's think about everybody's. I'm going to ask everybody in the group chat, what's your spookiest secret?
What's something you've never told anybody?
That's really spooky. So, but today is just a spooky topic. And if you recall, Crispies that have been with us, I'm bringing back Crispies because we listened last week. You released an episode that we were deep into our Crispies. And I'm deep into using the word Crispies. I'm not gonna, okay. We weren't deep into anybody's Crispies. So I'm bringing back Crispies. If any Crispies remember, we did a Salem Witch Trials episode.
We did
in spooky season last year, and I would like to make this. We've been doing this long enough to have annual things.
Yeah, we are officially into 1 year of releasing episodes, not just recording, because it's like actually over that, but a year of releasing episodes.
Okay, so, and shockingly enough, this is going to be about sisters again. Like we talked about the Salem Witch Trials sisters. Anytime I'm like, I really want to talk about sisters, it's always a horrible story.
Yeah, we've had to, at least one, I think we had to put the episode on ice about sisters.
Nix that sister episode.
Yeah, that one was...
We'll see if this one's much better.
Let's see.
Today, I'm going to tell you a spooky tale about the Papin sisters. And
sorry,
did you? Papin. And this is the spookiest part about this for our brother Jonathan is that he's going to have to listen to me do a French accent. That's very spooky.
Well, if it's anything like your South African accent,
which is perfect, we'll be just fine. Today we're going to be talking about Christine and Leah Papin. They were...
Is there a way you can say it without sounding like you're just stopping for a breath in the middle?
Papin.
Okay, don't. Go back to Papin.
Okay. Papin. They're 2 sisters that committed a horrific murder that I would like to tell you about.
I don't know why I'm laughing about that. I think it was the transition from Papin to like, and they murdered people.
And murder. They were born they were raised in Le Mans in France. obviously. And
I love how that's the thing
you
you look down. So far, there's been
obviously
2 things that you could I would have encouraged you to look down at, but this one you're like, and they were born in. Let me just check my notes. France.
check. France, how you say France? I'm gonna give you a rundown of their early life. They were born in Le Mans to 2 people, Clémence and Gustave Papin. Clémence was rumored to be very unfaithful to her husband, Gustave. She was rumored to have an affair with an employer and became pregnant, but Gustave married her anyway in 1901. Their first daughter was named Amelia, and she was born soon after. She was pregnant when they got married. So soon after their marriage, Amelia was born.
The mom was, not the baby.
Yeah. Well, babies aren't usually pregnant, but
I just wanted well, I don't know who's listening. We just want to make sure to clear it
up. No judgment here. The Gustave suspects the affair and suggests that they move away. He wants her to get away from her employer in Le Mans, and Clémence literally says, "I would rather die than move anywhere else." And so they stay. And soon after that, Gustave becomes an alcoholic. You know, I don't want to blame Clémence. He has free will, but that might be part of it. He knows she's still working for the employer that she is having an affair with. They are married. And
that's got to be kind of...
It hurts. And honestly, no one really knows if Amelia is Gustave's baby or the baby of the employer, but whatever. Their second daughter is named Christine, and she's born in 1905. And immediately she is given to her aunt and uncle to raise, because it turns out Clémence is a terrible mother and is like, I can't deal with another baby. They actually raise her for the first 7 years of her life. They have a third daughter, and her name is Leia.
Back.
Yeah, it's worked out so well the first 2 times. She's born in 1911 and is given to another aunt and uncle to raise. So now none of the girls are being raised together. Leia is, because she's the only daughter at home, when she turns 9 or 10, she is sent to live in an orphanage, which is pretty wild because her parents are definitely still alive. It's like a super religious Catholic orphanage. And this happens after Amelia, alleges that Gustavo has abused her. Clémence then accuses her daughter, her 9-year-old daughter, of seducing Clémence's husband. Does not say like your father. She's like, you are seducing my husband, and sends her to live to this extremely Catholic orphanage as like her punishment. Over time, Leia and Christine join her at this orphanage. So there is a time that all 3 girls are living at the same orphanage together. Clémence is there till the age of 15, and that's when she goes to work. She still has to send money back to her parents, which I'm like, keep your money, get your bag, Clémence, and come on, get your bag. And sorry, that's not Clémence. Get your bag, Christine. She later enters the convent.
Hold on, let's just press pause for 1 second. Let's go through this just really quickly. The 3 daughters, oldest to youngest.
3 daughters. Let's go back through this. Okay. Let's go through this just so we have a rundown of the daughters. Amelia's the oldest daughter, then Christine, then Leia is the youngest.
Okay,
got it. Amelia later leaves to join a convent.
And Amelia is the one working. Just Amelia is working. Yeah, she's sending money back to the family because she's like, I owe it to them.
I owe it to them, my great parents who have raised me well. So she's sending money back, and then finally decides to join a convent and actually stays there for the rest of her life.
Okay.
So she is not bothered by this awful family anymore. Gustave and Clémence divorced in 1913, which makes sense. They had a horrible relationship.
Things were rocky from the beginning.
Things are rocky from the beginning. And Christine, at this point, Christine is old enough to leave the orphanage, and she would like to join the convent as well. She's like, Amelia seems like she's doing great. Clémence, who now has no husband and no money, she says, no, you need to be trained. You need to work. You need to send your money back to me. So she talks Christine out of it, and she starts getting trained in the duties of a housemaid. And both Christine and Leia, when they're old enough to leave the orphanage, they begin working as maids. One thing that we find out, like I listened to a podcast about this and watched a documentary, Leia is often said to be a very unintelligent person and lets Christine do almost all the talking for her. Clemence is not happy with the pay they're getting at their first jobs. So she's pushing them constantly to find new jobs.
So that she can get more money from her daughters.
Money. Yeah. She wants to make more money from the daughters. The girls want to work together, especially when you think about it. For the first 7-8 years of their lives, they did not live together at all. They lived together in the orphanage, and now they go out into the working world. They want to find positions where they're working together. In 1926, at age 20 and 15, they get jobs with a family called the Lancelins. The Lancelins are made up of the dad, Renee. Sorry, Jonathan. Renee.
Oh, can you not apologize to me? I am the one who's getting the direct feed.
Hey, but you don't speak French.
But
so
I know
fine.
what French sounds like.
You don't know. You don't even have to worry about it. Their dad, Renee, their mom, Leonie, and their daughter, Genevieve. And that's their family. Genevieve is an older daughter. She's probably in her early 20s is what we know about that. I don't know her actual age. They bring both Christine and Leia on as housemaids. And outside...
It seems like a pretty high ratio for worker to family member in that. Yeah. So we got 3, yep. We need 2. We need 2.
I believe the dad was said he was high up in politics and he was gone a lot. So they wanted housemaids, but also I think they also, because they're close in age to Genevieve, kind of as like a companionship for Genevieve as well.
Okay.
That's what I think anyway. The outside accounts too are that the Papin sisters were treated very well. They had a heated room, which was kind of unheard of. Like most servants were not in like a heated room. They had standard wage. They were fed very well. And then for their part, the Lancelins, like everybody was very envious of them that they had 2 such great workers that were working for them. So it seemed like a really good relationship and good situation for both sides.
I think the business world calls that a win-win.
Win-win situation until it's a very win-lose situation. There's some weird things that come out after all of this. The one weird factor is that neither ever spoke to Renee, the dad, never once. All directives, all tasks were given through his wife, Leonie. The second really weird thing was that Leonie definitely suspected that Christine and Leia were in a relationship. And
the sisters?
Yeah, the sisters. Because she would see them doing some things that like sisters don't usually do. And that but they were such good workers that she was like, I can overlook this. This is not a big deal because like,
I don't care what the keychain says on your backpack.
I don't care what the keychain says. Someone needs to light the fire in my bedroom and
change my sheets.
And my sheets. So Leonie also used like a white glove check throughout the house every day. She would run a white glove and make sure that everything's clean and the girls would get in trouble. Mom also did that to me. So if anybody's listening, Mom also glove checked my room. So other than those like kind of strange things, it was pretty uneventful until 1933. So they worked there for 7 years. And you figure after 7 years, like they get to know each other pretty well.
So they're now 27 and 22 years old.
Yeah, great math. Better than mine.
I don't know if I'd call that great. Single digits to double digits addition.
One thing I tell about Ryan is he's really good at math. And this is where it starts to get real spooky. It's even spookier than sisters being in a relationship with each other. And it was in fact a dark and rainy night. And Leonie and Genevieve were to go shopping, and then they were going to meet up with Renee for dinner, and they were going to stay the night out of town. And so they left. And during the day, Christine and Leia had their regular tasks. And one of the tasks that they needed to take care of was that their iron was broken. They had an electric iron and it was at the shop getting repaired. And they were to go pick it up and then bring it home and do the ironing. And so they did this. They did all the tasks together. Like the girls were very rarely separated. So they go, they get the iron, they bring it back, and when they go to plug it in, it's not fixed anymore, and it shorts the entire electrical system in the house. Remember, this is 1933, so that would have been common. And instead of calling someone to fix it, they figured the family's not going to be home till tomorrow anyway. We'll just deal with it tomorrow. Because again, it was a dark and rainy night.
Which immediately, it's just spooky right there, right?
It's spooky. It's spooky. So it is. The house is dark.
House, yes, dark, and now it's dark and rainy.
It's dark and rainy. Yes, and they don't have an iron. Which whoa.
Speaking of spooky.
So the Lancelins come home unexpectedly. Just the mom and the daughter. So Genevieve and Leonie come home. And the house is dark, obviously. And they're like, what's going on? They call the girls down, and the girls explain to her. And this is according to Christine. She says, we plugged in the iron, it shorted out the house. And she says that Leonie flies into a rage and starts beating Christine and Leia and saying, like, why wouldn't you get this fixed? This was your job or whatever. Christine then grabs a pewter jug and smashes it into the side of Leonie's head.
I'm sorry, she does what? Can you just use that verb one more time in a sentence? Smash it is?
Smashed it is? Smashed it is. Yeah, smashed it is. It into the side of her. Okay, you should not be laughing. Smashed it is into the side of her head. Genevieve tries to help her mom, and Christine does the same thing, grabs the same thing and whacks her upside the head with it, right?
Wow.
Leia has been at the top of the stairs for this. They lived in a townhouse, so lots of stairs, and the girls lived up in the attic, but both of them were coming down the stairs when all of this happened. Leia was at the top of the stairs and is watching this all happen. She runs down the stairs, and instead of being like, I've done something horribly wrong to our employers, Christine yells at her to smash Leonie's head into the ground and pull her eyes out.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, this is what we need to do.
Step 1, smash head. Step 2, eyes out.
Pull eyes out. And Leia, again, she was the passive sister who everybody said like was not very intelligent, just does it, is like, okay, I guess Christine told me to do that. And so while she's pulling the eyes out of Leonie, Christine does the same thing to Genevieve.
Oh my gosh.
Smashes her head, pulls the eyes out. And guess what? There are crime scene photos. And guess what? I looked at them. And guess what? I'm going to put them in the show notes. No, really wish I hadn't. I really wish I hadn't looked at those. I don't usually look at crime scene photos, but I happened upon them in my research, and let's just say I'm feeling pretty spooky this season.
Wait,
so,
did they take the eyeballs, or did they just go like...
Yes, the eyeballs are fully removed.
No, but did they take them with them somewhere, or did they just leave them there after?
No, don't jump ahead.
Oh,
I've got more to tell you about this.
Oh! Look at me thinking like look at me thinking like a spooky murderer.
That's not even the worst thing that happened. So pace yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Leonie and Genevieve are still alive during all of this. Like, they're alive as their eyes are being plucked out. And they're still alive when Leia and Christine go to the kitchen to gather up the rest of the implements that they need to finish murdering their employers.
No.
If you really want to read more about that, I feel like that's a little too gory for this podcast specifically. So if you do want to read more about that, you go right ahead and find out how it was done. But in the end, they did murder Genevieve and Leonie. They are dead.
Wow.
The sisters, after finishing the job, lock every door in the house, clean themselves up, leave the bodies at the bottom of the stairs, and go upstairs to wait in their room. They light one candle and go upstairs and wait in their room. What
are they waiting for?
Renee Lancelin.
I'm walking in each one of these, aren't I?
It's perfect. Honestly, it's almost like we've done this before.
I have not. By the way, for those of you who are just arriving, I have no idea.
He's reading from a script. Everybody, he's reading from a script. So Renee, he was waiting for his wife and daughter to meet him at dinner. They never show up, and he gets home. Every door is locked, and he can't get anybody to answer the door. Usually, there would be a housemaid to open the door. He calls the police immediately. He does not go into the house by himself. But the police come, and as soon as they open the door, they quite literally stumble upon Leonie and Genevieve's bodies. And they believe the worst, and the worst is that everybody in the house has been killed by a horrific murderer. And Renee's like, oh no, we have two other girls that live in this house. We need to find them, thinking that they also have been hurt.
And the only thing the only thing worse than his worst guess is what he's about to discover.
What really went
yeah. The only thing worse than everyone being dead is two of them being killed by the other two.
And here's what makes it even spookier. So Renee and the police mount the stairs to go up into the attic to find what they ostensibly should be two more dead bodies. And as they get to the top of the stairs, Renee sees something on the ground, and he is like, what is this? A little jewel, a small bead that has been dropped? And when he picks it up, he realizes it is his wife's eyeball.
No.
He is holding his wife's eyeball in his hand. When they open the door to the girls' room, they find them in bed together, not wearing any clothes.
Okay.
And they immediately confess. Like it's not like, was there a scary man here that did all this? They're like, no, it was definitely us who did it. It was us. But they tell the police it was all done in self-defense. That's why they just had to pluck out somebody's eyeballs.
Yeah, that's how I defend myself.
It was because, and if I had a niggle.
I was just going to say this.
But they say it was Leonie. She flew into this crazy rage, and this was all done in self-defense. So what's interesting to me...
Tell me what is interesting to you about this.
What's interesting to me, and especially in light of like the kind of what I would call like the op-ed nation that I'm living in right now, where everybody gets to give their little think piece opinion on anything going on, especially horrible things, and people who are in no way qualified to even give their opinion on something. This spawns almost like a wave of think pieces about this horrific crime. And the think piece about the crime is that these intellectuals arguing that the whole reason this happened is because of class warfare. And like, this would not happen if we did not keep the working man down. And again, France is a little more volatile towards like the elite or whatever. But this starts like these op-eds of people who are like, oh, even whatever happened, they were justified because they are lowly maids and they've been kept this way by rich people. And it is like it's like a hotly contested debate among people and intellectuals at the time, which I thought was pretty weird because I feel like it's kind of cut and dry.
Pun intended. Pun intended. It's really cut and dry.
Like as something of an elite myself, I would like to say I don't want my eyeballs ripped out at any point in time.
And that's where the Free Press in France started their own What Would You Do series, like that ABC or whatever, where they would stage a mother being angry at her workers to see what would you do in this situation? Murder? And as eyeball extraction?
One eyeball's taken out and the guy's like, hey guys, you're actually on camera. This has been... What would you do? And then this lady has only one eye. Like, can you... Anyway, going too far, guys. So obviously the girls are on trial after this. And the first thing that happens, before even they go to trial, the police ask what happens. Christine and Leia tell them what happened. And Leia goes, oh, also I'm deaf and mute. So this is the last you'll hear from me. And so she refuses to speak anymore. They go to trial, and it's clear that Christine is like the ringleader of a ring of two, I guess. The line leader of two. And because Leia continues to not speak or act like anything, they're like, oh, she's deaf and dumb. She shouldn't be have the same sentence as her sister. The courts debate. They first try the insanity defense. That does not work. And they are eventually found guilty. Christine is sentenced to death by guillotine. Guillotine. Sorry, that's my French accent of guillotine. She is, and again, this is 1930, which always is interesting to me. Did you know that the last person to die by a guillotine was in the 1980s?
No, that is wild. That is almost more wild than this entire story.
I know. Use that next time someone needs a fun fact, like a party or whatever. That's one that I like to pull out. And my eyes, a little party trick. Like, nah.
And also this. Now, which one's worse? Let's take a vote.
So, which one's worse? Let's write an op-ed about it. So, Christina's sentenced to death by guillotine, but Leia only gets a sentence of 10 years hard labor.
Wow. Which she'd already been doing for her work.
Which she'd already be doing. I know. So she's like, this is fine. Christina's put in her holding cell and is like she was sane before, but she becomes really crazy when she's in the holding cell. And there's this theory that the girls spent so much time together, and also that Leia allowed Christine to act as her like mouthpiece, that they were actually like using the same personality. And Christine, in like separating the two for the first time since they had been separated as children, was like physically painful for Christine.
Wow.
And so the first thing that she does in her holding cells tries to take her own eyeballs out.
Naturally.
You know, it's kind of her calling card, Christine. Oh, Christine. And so she's put in a straitjacket, so obviously she can't do that. But she successfully starves herself to death in 1937. Like, she went completely insane, and also did not want to go to the guillotine for completely understandable reasons. But yeah, she dies in 1937. Leia serves 8 years and is released on good behavior, which is classic Leia. She moves back in with her mom, so we get the Clemence is back in the picture, and she uses a fake name to get a job at a hotel, and that's what she does. Imagine you like the person bringing your towels up to your room is a convicted murderer and loves to pull out people's eyes.
Her favorite thing.
I'm scared of asking like nice people to bring towels up to her room. I'm like, never mind. It's fine. I don't want to bother you.
This light switch isn't working here. I was wondering if you could maybe send somebody up to take a look at it.
When we were at Disneyland, the hotel room that we were staying at, the air conditioner had just like a death rattle, and it wasn't like a constant noise. It was like,
which you're completely used to because your wood house coughs up sawdust, and you're like, this is fine. Yeah. I'm okay with this, but if you guys need us to change,
are you guys? But we didn't realize it till we'd gotten back to the hotel for the night. And by then it was like 12 o'clock at night, and it was like, we don't want to bother anybody to like come deal with this. Like, what are we going to do? Have a handyman up here at midnight trying to fix the air conditioner? So we all just slept with earplugs and complained about it. But Leia works at a hotel. Many believe that she died in 1982, and that is the story that her family tells everybody, that she has a stroke in 1982 and it killed her. A filmmaker later on who hears about this story wants to make a documentary about these girls. Specifically, his name's Claude Ventura. And as he's making his documentary, he finds that Leia is still alive.
No!
And he makes this documentary in the year 2000.
No!
So Leia had been living with her mom, and she lived until the year 2000, just walked among us free. Well, not us, because I didn't go to Paris until much, much later. I've been to Paris. I don't know if anybody knows.
What a weird story to drop in your little brag there.
Or, you know how I love to make every story about myself. Like, I could have been me.
I might have been staying at her hotel. I was staying at her hotel.
I love to put myself at the center of a story. What's interesting is that when she did actually suffer a stroke, and the stroke rendered her unable to speak. So the very thing that she told everybody all along, be careful what you wish for. The very thing she used at the murder trial actually happened, and she passed away soon after 2000, after this documentary filmmaker. found her. And
Was
that
this-
is the spooky story of I'm always trying to say, and that is the spooky story, or that is the tale of, and you're always like, question.
But I do have a question. I have a question.
Okay,
So,
fine. Give me your question.
this documentary filmmaker, did he, like, while he's filming, like, was he like, let's go, and people say this is her old house, let's see, like, knock on the door, and it's like,
Yes.
and she, like, has a cue card that's written on there, like, I can't speak, I had a stroke, and he's like, are you possibly Leia? And
I mean, I think it was a little less specific. It was more along the lines of interviewing people who knew her, and people who knew her being like, but what do you, like, you could just go talk to her.
She's right there. She's one holding eyeballs right there.
She's right behind me, isn't she?
Wow.
So now that is the story of the eyeball pulling sister murderers. That's what everyone calls them. That's what I call them.
Catchy. That's going to be the title for this episode, by the way.
Okay, and it's especially because I at this moment cannot remember their last name, and I would remember that. Just give me a second. And that is the story of the Papin sisters. I should have known it was.
The Papin.
It was my perfect. I was killing that pronunciation this whole time.
You were definitely murdering it. You were murdering it, butchering it. I think the word you're looking for is butcher.
And butchered and pulled the eyes out of. So then it was just Papin.
That is insane. Wild.
Do you feel like that was like, were you spooked? Do you feel like that was a spooky story?
I mean, I think if I was watching a movie about these sisters, there would be spooky parts. When it is, in fact, my sister telling me the story of these two sisters, and there's lots of avenues I can go down to avoid feeling spooky. Not that spooky. But
so what you're telling me is I need to work on my spooky telling.
Delivery. Yeah, the delivery was all in the delivery, the cadence. Also, once you said Papin, I was like, I'm not going to be able to take this story serious at all. If she says another word with a French accent, I'm done. Guillotine?
Next time I'm doing it with a flashlight under my chin. The story of the Papin sisters.
Oh my God. I think it's creepy. It's creepy to think of these, like, sisters who endured a lot of horrible things and then did horrible things. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
hurt people, people.
Every time. And there is a TV show called Snapped that is just tales of this exact thing. It's always women. It's always women because women get pushed and pushed until they cannot stand it anymore. So you better watch your back and you better be nice to Seiko is what I'm telling you.
And my two daughters is what I'm hearing. Yeah. I'm walking on eggshells.
If you want to keep your eyes, you get that tofu she asked. Okay, so get ready for. I wanted to watch a movie, but I don't think we're going to have time to watch a spooky movie if we also want to talk about spooky border stories. So,
okay,
we'll just have to put that.
So, am I supposed to be preparing for spooky stories?
Yeah, prepare.
Things that we've experienced?
I want to know. We want to know Porter ghost stories. I'm going to ask the other boys too because they have some. I already talked to Dallin about. He and I have a shared ghost story.
Okay,
and I already verified it with him to make sure that it wasn't me just like making things up in my head. It's both of us making stuff up in our head.
Yeah, that's you. Just had
there's two of us.
Yeah, you are Christine and Leia. He's like, did this happen? Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Dallin and I have pretty extreme Christine and Leia energy.
Except for the lying in bed naked together. Everything except for that. Everything except for that.
Cut.
No.
You better cut that out.
No. That is it.
Please no. I babysat obviously a lot. Our family members, but also like kids, neighborhood kids or whatever, and mom and neighborhood kids. And mom had 2 kids that she would babysit all summer, and I would help out with her. And one was only like 2 years old when we were babysitting him. And when he became an adult, every time I saw him, I was like, last time I saw you, I was changing your diaper. And his mom was like, please stop talking about him. And he
starts shaking and sweating. He's like, I've been working for years on this.
She's always like, just so you know, he gets really embarrassed every time you talk about changing his diaper. I was like,
last time I saw you had your pants down on our pool table, just peeing everywhere. Like,
that did happen.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why anybody would feel weird about a grown woman being like, I remember you.
Yeah, it's such a weird way to like.
I was trying to connect.
Create a
Look,
connection?
I'm just trying to connect. I'm just trying to connect. What other memories do I have of this kid? He was 2.
I hope other memories.
Truly, no. All I did was change his diaper.
Okay. All right.
And we are going to redact that name. I didn't say the name, did I?
It could be anybody.
We're good.
It could be you listening right now.
I took a drink of my water. Just thought that was a bad idea. Anyway, would you like to do an unhinged text?
Let's do an unhinged text. Are you asking me to do it?
Yeah, no, I have it.
Okay.
I have it because you were the unhinged texter.
Which I feel happens more often than not. And I promise you, this isn't like, okay, what is an unhinged version of this that I can send?
No, I think, but out of every other family, you do love to share the most. Like you're a sharer. And
I like to try to maintain connection with my siblings.
Hey, you're a sharer. You like to talk about us when you change your bums. We get it. No, I just feel like you're definitely the one who instigates the most conversation.
Connection.
Instigates?
Let's go.
The most connection.
Maintains.
Whatever.
I'm the keeper of the flame.
Yeah.
Is what I am.
Keeper of the flame. And so there's a lot of them actually. But I have to preface this by saying like you had a full journey as a dragon fruit farmer last few weeks ago.
Go to my Instagram.
And go to I'll put it in the show notes, and some pictures. We'll definitely have some pictures in the show notes of this farming that you've been doing. And what's interesting to me about this whole situation, I need people who listen to this podcast who think like these guys just have always had the best relationship. They have so much fun together. I need people to know we hated each other.
I once put a board on Jacqueline and jumped on it multiple times. It's in a previous episode.
And it's not just like you and I, like all the Porter siblings hated each other.
Dan stabbed me with a pen so deep that I had to pull it out and stuff came out with it. And Dad said it was too wide for stitches. And the only reason it went in my arm, because I was blocking my face.
It could have been your eye. It could have been your eye. Like sometimes we'd get along with like one sibling at a time. You had Daniel, I had Jonathan, Dallin had no one.
He was left out in the cold.
He's currently working through that right now. But yeah, we were not a close family growing up. And when I say we have become the most supportive, best friends, let it be known that like it is never more apparent than with you and your farming adventure, because we turned from people who hated each other to people who are just hyping you up nonstop because you grew a dragon fruit.
Well, 4, but hey. Credit where credit's due.
4, you grew 4 dragon fruits and you've never seen 4 Crowder siblings. Were you like, Ryan? Is that a
demanding updates? Like, yo, where are we at? Where are we at with these dragon fruits?
All updates. Yep, we were excited. You pollinated them yourself, which was
hand pollinated with Q-tips. By moonlight. It happened at nighttime.
I don't know why that makes me feel like uncomfortable.
Hand pollination?
I know. Like, did you ask them if it was okay?
Yes, I got
the dragon fruits.
Did you
ask consent?
I got consent
before you put a Q-tip all up in that business.
And cross hand pollinated. I was going from flower to flower to make sure they had a mixture of pollen.
Yeah, we were your hype squad the entire time. We were very excited about it. And finally, we got Harvest Day. And Harvest Day was like 3 weeks ago. You sent the message that said, today is Harvest Day. Bruh, look at these. And sent us 2 pictures of dragon fruits. That was very nice. And this was my favorite reply, was from Daniel. Daniel, the brother who stabbed you with a pen.
Because almost in my face, but I blocked it, went in my arm.
Daniel, who shot my cat with a BB gun. His reply is, oh my. Dragged out like that. Oh my, did you eat them? And you said taking them off when Noah is home from school and eating. I said, I want to see a very satisfying cut. And you said, I'll make it happen. Now, unfortunately, that was 2 days went by and I had to message, why have I not seen the inside of a dragon fruit yet? What are we even doing here? And you said, check my IG story, which I did within the post had gone up 2 minutes before. That's how fast I ran. And you said, we had some last night. So good. Naya's obsessed. And I said, the way I ran to your stories, you sent us a video of Naya eating said dragon fruit. And I said, everyone shut up. My show is on. And honestly, never been more entertained, never been prouder. You have done many things as an adult.
I was a dependable neighborhood kid, grade 8 valedictorian, grade 6 best all around boy.
Best boy. And I was never once proud of you until this moment when you grew 4 dragon fruits.
And that's why I am the porter keeper of La Flamme.
La Flamme Bleue. And La Flamme Rose.
I keep the culture alive. All right. The porter culture.
Yeah. I didn't think that we could, we're a pretty close family now. I didn't think we could become any closer until you started growing dragon fruits. And it's brought out a side of us that I mean, we're all very mean people. It has brought a side out of us.
I felt seen. I felt seen. I felt supported. I felt like, and you know what I think the takeaway here is, look, if you have family members that you've been struggling to connect with, okay, might I suggest a hobby like growing dragon fruit, and just one day send them a picture of those little flowers blooming and go, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
So exciting. Also, if you have a family we're not a family. We are not a physically affectionate family.
But we are a family.
We are a family. I can say that for sure. We are not physically affectionate. We are not huggers, nor do we ever tell each other that we love each other. In fact, I seem to remember one time, Jonathan, I think, was it you or Jonathan leaving the house? And was it Jonathan who accidentally said it?
Jonathan.
So Jonathan was leaving the house. He had been visiting and was leaving probably back to Africa or wherever he was going. And he was leaving the house and you were sitting on the couch and he said, bye, love you. And then said, oh no, and tried to put the love you back in his mouth. Like, not only do we not say I love you, we actively are like, just so you know, I don't love
do
you.
not. I don't support
you. I would never say that.
Not me.
And Ryan, at this moment in time, you guys heard it here first on the podcast. People are hearing, I love your dragon fruits.
You know what? I'm here. I'm here for that.
Okay. That's the closest I can get. I'm sorry. I'm sweating. I can't. That took a lot. That took a lot.
I wrote it down. I actually wrote it down just to make sure. I practiced the lines ahead of time.
I'm going to do this. I think today's the day that I tell Ryan that I love his dragon fruits.
Well, I'm glad we got that etched in audio history.
Okay. You crispy heard it here first.
This was a long one, first of all.
Yep.
But we had some catching up to do, and I hope everybody enjoys the freshness and the spookiness that was delivered here. I think we're back on track. I've received every sickness that I can possibly receive this year. Did you hear that, fate and destiny? I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
Just you wait.
All right. Well, 2 weeks from now,
get your spooky story. Yeah, get your spooky stories ready, and
run inventory.
We're gonna have get your flashlight, and we're gonna do the whole thing with the flashlight under it.
Yeah, I might do it by candlelight.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
we got lots of candles. All right,
they're floral. They're shaped.
Just makes my office smell amazing.
Okay, we're done for real.
Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye.